Why hello there! Welcome to Ark DLC cluster thingamajig whatchamacallit, whatever it may or may not be. I'm just here, chilling in the sky, with my buddy, my little cinema crops on my back, and we're actually back on Fjordur for a change, yeah. I'm wearing different armor, but I have a Sinnoh, and well, we're mutating today. Yeah, it's finally time to get into these Thylas, so I need to hop down, eventually, gradually, slowly, carefully, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see what kind of beautiful and wonderful stats and color combos we can get on our Thylas. So, you guys know how this works. If at any point during this video you do find yourselves enjoying it, give me that thumbs up button. It means a lot, it helps. Also, subscribe, comment, the whole shebang. Yeah, I would be oh so happy. That wasn't what I meant to do, but alright, we're doing it. There are so many combinations. Thylas. Let's mutate Thylas. Let's talk about how we're gonna do the Thyla thing, right? A couple of episodes ago, I tamed up 16 Thylacoleos over on Lost Island in the desert. Yeah, I did not go to the desert because it's the only place they spawned there. I went there because it's the easiest place to find them there. Anyway, of the 16 Thylas that we tamed, only 3 really had usable stats, which is fine. That makes it kind of easy for me, right? It means that we actually have 1 female and 2 males. At least there is a female that has some stats that are useful to me. So we currently have Thyla number 6 and Thyla number 3 breeding here. 6 had the high health, which honestly really wasn't very high. It was only 33 levels into it. Usually you want like 40 to 45-ish. If you get higher than 45, you're bloody lucky. But 40 to 45-ish, that's where you want to be. With max levels of 150. So 33 is terrible. However, I tamed 16 of them, so it's the best I got, it's what we're going with. And that was on Thyla 6. It also had the highest weight stat of 43. So we're using those 2 stats from Thyla number 6. Thyla number 3 had the highest stamina stat at 36, which also isn't great, but it's okay. Their stamina, it's not that important. They don't drain it super quickly, so it's fine. So right now, I'm breeding the 2 of them together in order to get their stats combined. In total, it's 3 stats I'm looking for. High health, high stam, high weight. Thyla number 5 over here had the highest melee. And we were pretty lucky with getting the melee that we did. It was 40, flat. It's a nice round number. I'm very happy with it. It was by far the highest melee that we got. So once I've combined these stats together, I need to get a female out of that, which I can then breed with this male, Thyla number 5, and combine the weight onto that. That's what I'm doing right now, because we need to get them into a state of unison, the sameness, yeah? Right? Words are failing me. I need Thylas that have the same colors, same stats, everything, and then we can start the mutation process. It is not very much later, long time span thing. I've not done much, really. I've been crafting a couple of things, setting up for mutating later on in the line, but for now, I've got a progress update. Thyla 3 and Thyla 6 have been breeding, like I said they would be. I didn't lie to you. And now, we have some things. I've cleared this out a little bit. I've probably gotten 3 times as many babies as currently in here. But finally, we have one. This one right here. So, Thyla 5 over there just needs to give me the melee stat. And it has the lowest oxygen stat. So I'm going to go with that as well. No? Lowest food stat. Sorry. Mix those 2 up. So, in this case, I don't care about the melee or the food. But the stamina and the movement had to be the mother's stats, which is what I have here. Everything else can be male. this is a good Thyla. This is what it needs to be. It needs to be a female because Thyla 5 over there is a male. So I can go ahead and pick up these two. I'm actually going to pick you up as well so we can reposition you. Yeah, Thyla 5. We're going to throw you down there. And then we've got this Thyla, which is a hybrid of 6 and 3. They need to breed up together. Next, let's just go ahead, options, change name, 6 plus 3, so that I know that that one is actually the baby with the correct stats. I like these colors a lot more than I like those colors, but ultimately we're going to be going for color mutations down the line as well as stat mutations, so it doesn't matter what the base Thylas look like now. I'm going to change it completely. But yeah, all of the others here are useless. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy those. And the parents actually... No, these are for perfect parents. The parents I have with me now, these ones in here, yeah, those two, are worthless. They are never going to be needed ever again, so they go into the bad dino box. Also, I am aware that I do have a Thyla in my inventory. This is Nightfang, the Thyla that I used a couple of episodes ago and since, just as my kind of pocket Thyla. It's a good-ish ground mount. I've put a whole bunch of levels into it, but none of its base stats are really good. So it wasn't worth breeding with it. It was just good enough to use until I get a better Thyla from breeding and mutating and all those wonderful things. Yeah. So they're still going at it. I can probably give you this update. I don't think I've shown you. I've got a stat female, right? She has all of the good stats on her. Wonderful. Perfect. Now I'm breeding the stat female with the last male we got in the aim to get a male with the same stats. Hopefully with the same colors. That would be nice. Although at this point I'm just going to get stats together and then I'll worry about getting colors together after that. But it makes it quite easy. Whoa, lag spike. Once you have a stat creature, right? One that has all of the good stats, you know what level you're looking for. 228. So I can come in here and I can type 228. And if there's nothing with the level, then you know that you don't have another dino of the type that you're looking for. So this one, 215, that is pathetic. We don't want it. So we get rid of it. While that's been going on, though, I can give you guys a bit of an update. I love having a Sinnoh. I've been doing a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Let's do that. I've been building, tidying up a couple of things here and there that I, didn't finish when we built the mega base. And now that I'm here, now that I've got time, now that I'm waiting for that all to happen, I'm doing some things. Just building. Currently, I've got these pillars and I'm envisioning some roofs, maybe with some different heights, and I don't know. I'll see what I do there. Could be interesting. Also, my dung beetles are still all hard at work generating fertilizer for me. I've got about half of my crop plots all full of fertilizer. Like, aside from one slot for the occasional seed and one slot for the actual crop that it produces, all of the other slots in those crop plots are filled with fertilizer, which means they'll last a very long time without me having to worry about filling them up. Let me actually show you. Let's come up here. Yeah, so see, no more room for fertilizer, which is amazing. I've got crops, seeds, and then all of the rest just fertilizer. It's fantastic. I love it. It'll last very long. I'm working on getting the rest. So this one has, this one doesn't. So I'm currently filling up these narcoberry plants with all fertilizer. But yeah, this is just, whoa, ow, that's the wrong door. I want to go out through this one. That's just kind of how I'm entertaining myself while I wait for these Thylas to breed. Let's give it one more quick look. There are already a couple more. I've got really, really fast taming rates on here. 2 to 8. Yes. I mean, all female stats is perfect. That's what I want. There's another female with all female stats. Hallelujah. And all female colors. That means this male and that female are identical, aside from their gender. That's perfect. That's what we want. So let's go ahead. I can turn you guys off of wandering now. Well, this one. Wrong gun, that gun. Pick up Thyla 5, this guy. And since they have the same colors and the same stats, I can actually rename this stat female. And she can become a perfect female. Yeah. This one we rename to be our perfect male. And they are going to be the start of our mutation line. Pretty much, yeah. Completely unimprinted. They just have identical stats, identical colors. And we can start mutating. Whoopee! I'm very dark. Let's... And we can start mutating. Whoopee! Happy days, happy days. So, I've not made any more progress with the building. But that does not mean that I have been sitting idle. Yeah, even my little Sinnoh is exhausted at all of the work I've been doing. Over here, I've got my Deinonychus busy breeding, laying eggs for me. And I'm just collecting them in here. Because I have also been... that's the wrong one. Crafting up a whole lot of Lazarus chowder, which I need to make this extraordinary kibble. The kibble you use the Deinonychus eggs for. Right, so I've got a whole lot of that. Getting some eggs so that I can make a whole lot more kibble, because, well, I'm going to keep taming in this series, you guys. Yeah, so, you know, if you want to see more of that, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so they're doing their thing, I'm doing that. I've also made up a bunch of Thyla saddles, right? I've got 11 here. Now, 11 is a very specific number, and I'll show you exactly why I need 11 of them. And you can kind of see the names here. Yeah, I've been busy. We had the 2 perfect Thylas over there. From those, I immediately, the first identical ones I got, I made a backup perfect female and a backup perfect male, right? Now, all of these Thylas are getting saddles. So that's 2 of the 11 down. I've got my main perfect male, only the one that I'm going to be using, and then I've got perfect female 1 through 8 that I'm going to be using for the main mutation breeding process for now. I'm probably going to be getting 8 more perfect females because I want to make a health and melee stack separately. And then I will combine them at a later stage. So, these all need to get saddles, and then I need to, first off, take these 2, the backup perfects, and they're going to go into a box, and we're going to forget about them forever, except if something horrible were to happen to my main breeding stock. These are what I'm going to be using to replenish any lost stock if a Giga fell from the sky and chewed up all my Thylas. So yeah, they're going to go in a box, we're going to forget about them, hopefully never need them. And then I need to rearrange these 9, the remaining 9. See, so that's 9 plus 2, 11 saddles. I can math. I need to rearrange the remaining 9 into the most efficient kind of pattern to get 1 male to be able to breed with 8 females simultaneously. And that way we are getting 8 times the babies being bred and possibly mutated. Yeah, it's a lot. It's big. It's a massive process. I need to get back to it. Something to note, it is kind of easier to mutate big creatures because they have much bigger hitboxes. Meaning the male's hitbox extends further and it's kind of easier to get females to intersect with it. So you need to get the females as close as possible, right? So if I throw down another female here, look how far away he actually appeared and popped out. Now the aim here is to get her as close to the male as we can get. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. It is also important to note that I need to be able to get that male out of there again, because I'm going to be replacing him with my mutated males as we go along. So there we currently have 6 females in there, as close as I can get them. I don't know if putting 7 and 8 in, if they're going to be able to reach, and if I'm still going to be able to get in there to put the male down. So let's see if I kind of reverse her in. I think their heads are what are important here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these to align. I might be able to get a 7th one in there in the back. Or maybe just leave one. Actually, let's see. If I put this one kind of here, I don't know if she'll reach. Just because they're mate boosted doesn't mean that they can successfully breed. Yeah, see, now this one can't get very close. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go with 7 for now. So let's pick up 8, and 8 can go into the next batch. Now all of these should, I hope, be within range of that male, and I should, in theory, hopefully be able to throw a male down there in the middle as a baby and have it grow up inside of the females. That's my theory. So now I need to be able to reach this hitching post, please. There, no, that's a ceiling. Hitching post. Yeah, small creatures make this difficult. There we go. Oh, I'm thirsty. Drink. Hitching post. Who's on this side? I can't see. 6, 4, 3, 7. Doesn't really matter. This is just my OCD. 6, 4, 3, and 7. And then the others I'll hitch on this side. It really doesn't matter. You can hitch them all with one hitching post if they reach. There we go. Okay, so now that they are all hitched, you can set them to wander. So that's what this gun is set to. Female 1 is wandering. Female 7 is wandering. 5 and 2. Okay, so all of the females are now wandering, and then you come in and you set them the male to wander. And are they all reaching? This one's not reaching. See, female 7 isn't mating. Yeah. Okay. That means I can't fit, like I tried, I can't fit more than 6 in here. So let's pick up 7. Is 5 and 6 mating? Yes, they are. Look, they've got a redo timer thingy. So they are mating. Awesome. Okay, so we've got 6 females, 1 male. Unfortunately, if you're going small dinos like this, it's harder. Big dinos, I can usually get like 10 females in. The small ones are a bit harder, especially Thylas that have such wide hitboxes. So now we're getting dinos. Yeah. There's our first mutation into food. That sucks. And now we just sit back and we wait until we get a health or a melee mutation. Yay! I'm gonna keep building in the background, but these guys are just gonna do them. It takes a lot, my friends. If you're doing mutations this way, if you're aiming to do 20 health, 20 melee, even more than that, you gotta be patient. This stuff takes long. Even with my breeding rates, like these things are, this is about as fast as you can get it without Ark bugging out and resetting your rates every time you log back in. So it takes a while, right? And it usually takes me, I mean, we're up to 40, so it's going quite well. But it usually takes me 300, 450-ish babies to get one more mutation. And that's only in the first 20. It gets very complicated. I'm not going to go over that into too much detail, but yeah, now we're going for health or melee, whichever one comes first. In the meantime, I am going to raise up 4 more base perfect female Thylas, and we're going to use these 4 plus 7 and 8 that don't fit into this stack. And they're going to be used for the future, for the next stat. So this stack will focus on health, for example, and then the other stack that's going to use the other 6 perfect females will focus on melee, and we'll do the two completely separately and independently from one another. So it's possibly a kind of good time to bring you guys back now. Let's go ahead and turn the male off. Now you'll notice that breeding has stopped completely. That's kind of good for your admin, right? The females you never touch. You don't move them, you don't switch their stance, you don't nothing. They just stay there. You only worry about the male in between the whole time, okay? So I turned him off of mating, off of wandering, sorry. And as you can see, I've got 154 there, 107, 144. I've got about 400, just over 400 Thylacoleos babies in here. Now, when it comes to looking for mutations, it's actually fairly simple, especially if you use this dino storage mod that I'm using. However, you can use the incubator as well. The incubator is just slower because you have to do 10 at a time. This one I can do 300 at a time. Per, soul terminal. Editor Elementalist here again. It is worth noting, the incubator only works if you're breeding things that lay eggs. Thylas and other mammalian dinos or creatures don't lay eggs. You can't use the incubator for them. So if you're not using dino storage like I am, I would highly recommend it. It is a better alternative, just cryopods and or incubators. That's basically the same thing. This is the main reason why you want them to all have exactly the same stats. They are all level 228, which means any mutation that you get, any mutation on any stat, is going to add 2 levels onto that if it is 1 mutation. 2 mutations, if you're lucky enough to get a double mutation, will add 4 levels. 3 mutations, 6 levels, etc, etc, etc. 3 mutations are very, very, very rare. I don't think I've ever gotten one. Anyway, so we are technically looking for a 230 mutation. So if you open this up, I can type in 230. All of these Thylas I know have mutations. And you can tell by the stat that turns white, and then next to it, it will have a green +2 in brackets. And there's a melee one already. Perfect. We're also looking for a health one. There's a health one. You will also note, though, that in the color regions, there is a green box around it instead of the pink box. That indicates which color region has mutated, and it shows you what the color is for that. So this melee mutation got a kind of icky brown on the very last color region. Meanwhile, this health mutation got a nice dark black on the second to last region. Now I've got a lot in here, so if I type 230 in here, I've got even more. There's a health with a bright red pinkish. And stamina, that looks like it could be a nice blue. 230 in here, what do we got? There's a health with kind of a dark teal. There's a health with that same pink blue. They were probably twins, right? You can now also say 232. This one has 2 mutations on it. You can see there I have a health and I have a weight mutation. That's not bad. I'm not going to take it because I like to keep my mutations clean and neat. I am only going for health mutations. Note, in this instance, only one color changed. I think it's possible to get 2 colors at the same time, though I cannot confirm or deny that fact. Yeah, okay, we only got the 1 double mutation. Triple? Let's try it. I highly doubt it. 2, 3, 4. No. 2, 3, 4. No. Okay. We got 1 double mutation, but, well, I'm not rendered. What? Render, please. Thank you. Yes. So, we did get a couple of health mutations, and I think we got more than 1 melee mutation. So let me dig those guys out, and then we can compare and see which ones I want to keep. One more thing to just quickly take note of. You will see that there are females that also have mutations, and they could even have a mutation on a stat that you want. However, if you are going for mass mutations like this, females are not worth your time, because you need to replace a female then and have that mutated female mate with your perfect male every single time. Then, if you get a mutation on a male, then you have to swap out that mutated male with a perfect female and have those two breed. It becomes very complicated that way. Try and keep 2 just males, because they can mate with multiple perfect females at the same time. It increases your speed and your efficiency. So, I have picked out the mutations that we're interested in. We only got 1 melee mutation. That's okay. It's not a great color, doesn't matter. We're not going for colors right now, we are going for stats. But we did get 1 melee. We got 3 health mutations though. Actually 4, but this one had a twin, so we're not counting that. So we've got 3. We've got this teal, we've got that pink-red, and we've got a black. It doesn't really matter which color you go for. I'm going to be doing the color mutations separately, so I'm just going to go for any one of them, and then we're going to throw the others back into this, back into the storage machine, and we'll keep those going. So now that we have our chosen ones out, one of these has health, one has melee. This perfect male that is in here, in the middle, needs to come out of there. So you reach in, you grab him with either a cryopod, a soul ball, a soul trap, or the soul gun, and then you pick one. I'm gonna say that this line is going to be my melee line, and we're gonna go ahead. Let's throw him out here first, and just options change name 1M or 1 melee mutation. That is this one. Yes, 1M, level 230, and we throw him back in there in the middle. And then somehow I need to reach this hitching post again. There we go, we hitch him. And then he needs to grow up. I'm gonna set him to wander. If I can hit him and none of the others. Come on, I just had him. There we go. Set 1M to wander. That way, when he is fully grown, he will start mating with the females around him. I might need to tweak around exactly where I drop the male, just to make sure that he reaches all 6 females every single time and can mate. But yeah, once this one grows, the mating process and the mutation process continues. In the meantime, we can go ahead and just flap on up over here. In that pen, I've got something else happening. You'll just have to stay tuned to find out exactly what I'm doing. But over in this pen, I've set up a bunch more females. So these are the other 6 that I spoke about earlier. They have all already been set, like hitched into place. I put a standalone, like a dummy Thyla in there in the middle, and then moved them all around and tested. They should all work now. So then I can come in and I can take our other Thyla. This one has the health mutation. Just throw him out. Ooh, he's got a nice black spine. We're gonna change his name to 1H. You can name them whatever you want. This is just a naming convention that I like to use. And we're gonna go ahead and throw this little Thyla there in the middle. Then we need to run around because I can't reach from this side. Crawl our way in here until we can access the hitching post. There, no! Why'd you have to move me? Access the hitching post, hitch that guy, and then get out of there. Okay, so now once he is fully grown, he can mate with these 6. It is important at this point, if you are going to be doing this and doing independent stacks of mutations, to keep those stacks pure. In this stack, I am only going to be using health. In the other stack, I am only going to be using melee. At the end, I will have one Thyla that has 20 health mutations and no other mutations. Then I will have another Thyla that has 20 melee mutations and nothing else. It then becomes very easy to combine those 2 stacks. If you are going 1 health, 1 melee, 2 melee, 3 melee, 2 health, it gets very complicated and hard to keep track of. I like keeping them separate and neat. It's just the way I like doing it. So, yeah, now we keep going. Let's just make sure these kitties should all be on Wandering. Okay, they aren't, but let's put them onto Wandering. Put all the females onto Wandering first. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and throw you onto Wandering in the meantime as well. And these little soul thingies are just gonna go ahead. I need to activate the rest, but I'll make more soul traps to throw in them first. They're just gonna go ahead and catch all of the babies that get pooped out. And that's how we do it. A quick discussion about organization, right? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breeding exclusively for stats. I'm not gonna care about what colors they wind up with for this part. But that doesn't mean I'm just gonna throw all of the colors away. Okay, I'm going to keep the colors. But first off, I've got these 6. They're just here for general organizations. I've currently got all of my perfect RGs in here for future mutation plans. I've also got the perfect male Thyla in here. I'm also going to throw my 1H or my 1 melee, 2 melee, 3 melee, 4 melee, etc. in here with him. And my perfect females will also be stored in there. These are for various different mutation stacks. These 6 are project specific, and they represent a color region each. So every time I get a mutation, so let's come over to this guy, and we type in 230, right? If we get this color mutation right here, for example, it is not on a stat I want, but it has a very nice bright lime green. I'm gonna keep that guy, take him out, and we're gonna throw him into the corresponding container. So it is on the second to last color, so he goes into the second to last container. That way, at the end of all of this breeding process, I will probably have hundreds of different mutations on each region that aren't necessarily stat specific, but they have a whole bunch of colors. That way, I've got one stack that has my melee, I've got one stack that has my health, and I'm going to do a completely separate stack that is only colors so that they look really good. But that is way down the line. Once these guys are all good and ready to go, and I've got my stats, then I can finish up with just colors and combine the whole shebang, and we can have really pretty Thylas with the stats that we want. It is a very big and tedious process, and honestly, it's a lot for just one episode, so I think we're about done with this episode. We've discussed a lot. You guys know how the fundamentals work. In a later episode further down the line, I think I'll bring you guys back and we'll continue this process, finish up in that episode, get all the mutations we want, combine all the stats, look at the colors, we'll do all of that. And yeah, so my friends, for now, you guys know what to do. I've already asked you, I'm a broken record. I know, but please do hit that thumbs up button if you liked this video. If you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, I think I've made it fairly clear and easy to understand and easy to follow. If I haven't, let me know down in the comments. What would you have done differently? How would you have approached this project? But my friends, until next time, this is me, the Elementalist, and have an absolutely brilliant one.